6mm arc. Yep, we're talking about 6mm arc for 3-gun. Now, if you're done yelling at your screen, just hear me out. All right. Why would you use something like this? I have seen a lot on the tube about this caliber, but it's usually people either trying to make it a PRS cartridge or people using it for hunting, hand loading it as a small frame bolt action cartridge. None of what it's really being used for on the civilian market is what it was actually intended for. The entire reason this cartridge exists is because a military unit wanted a more capable SPR round, special purpose round, DMR round, whatever term you want to give to it. They wanted to use a small frame AR and get better ballistics, better BC, higher velocity, heavier payloads. And so that is what it was designed for. It was designed as an SPR cartridge. And very few people in the civilian world are using it for that. Really, the only place in the civilian world that is practical to do that would be 3-gun. And now I can hear it already. Yep, Mr. Moneybags, this, that, and the other thing. But hang on a second, all right? If you look at the landscape of what major matches are today in 2024, we're out here at the Zoo City Fall Brawl. A couple weeks ago, we were at the Vortex Shootout. And to think of other major matches going on throughout the country, major matches, multi-day events at big venues, High Desert 3-gun, Texas 3-gun championship, a few like that, in vast places with serious long-range components. As time has gone on, these matches have become more and more about the long-range shooting. The long-range component of it has always been a very significant part of your score and has always, for the most part, decided the match. And as time goes on, it seems to get more and more important. Here at this match, on a 10-stage match, I think something like 6 stages had long range on them. And long range shooting, by its very nature, is very heavy on the score because it takes so long to do, and it's very, very unforgiving if you don't do it well. So it is a serious component. If you want to do well at a major match, you have to be good at long range shooting. You have to put a lot of thought into your long range game and skill set. If I were to analyze my own skill set, AMAX is a great long range shooter, is said by no one ever. It's I would say it's probably the weakest part of my game. And so in trying to analyze my skill set, trying to get better, it was something that I am looking more seriously at getting better at, to do better at these matches. And so I'm open to things like this. And so when I look at matches and I see, or I know promoters are going to do over half the stages with long range components, or the long range component of a match is going to decide the match, I start to make decisions like this. Now, what is this going to give you? All right, so what this is going to give you is a higher BC, a flatter trajectory, more energy on target. All right, so if you have to encounter things like spinners, if you have to encounter things like plate racks at extended distance, not extended distances, but 75 to 100 yards, you got to transfer some energy to something, cartridge like this is going to help you. Obviously it's going to fly flatter, fly straighter in the wind. Now, me not being a long range guy, when people say it shoots like a laser beam, when you tell me something shoots like a laser beam, I picture a laser beam. It doesn't actually fly that way, all right? You still have to know the same stuff. It's not like you don't have to understand long range shooting anymore. You have to know your trajectory. It's just easier, all right? So if this is representative, this is a standard 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. If this represents what you have to know about rifle ballistics to shoot 5.56, all right? So in the entirety of the game, from holdover at close range to wind and all that stuff, if this represents what you have to know in 5.56, I would say with 6 arc, it's probably like that, all right? Still plenty of room to miss in here, all right? But your holds are more basic, and you're going to drift less in the wind. It's not gonna fly straight. It's just going to drift less. But that is significant. So at a match like this, where a comparable, like a peer of mine here on some of these stages, they were trying to memorize for an array of 6 to 8 targets usually, were the long range targets. They were remembering 6 or 7 different holds for these targets throughout the stage. To do well at a stage in this sport, the winning strategy is a subconscious execution, right? The person who wins is the person who goes bang, 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 and they hit it, all right? Not, oh, what's my dope card? Okay, bang, and then they get over here. Okay, what is it? Yep, bang. You're losing, all right? So you need to, as little as possible, come to a target, know the hold, shoot, know the hold, shoot, know the hold, shoot, and all the other stuff, all the dope cards and all that stuff, that is essentially damage control if you go to that, all right? So my peers at this match, they're trying to remember 6 holds, let's say. You know, some of them double up. What a 6 arc will do for you here, essentially in the matches that I've shot it at, is it allows me to essentially simplify a stage into foreground, midground, background, all right? So where those guys are remembering 6, 7 holds, I'm remembering 2 or 3, all right? I'm like, these targets are 2.5, those are 3.5. The differences between hold on a 412 yard target and a 435 yard target, smaller, you know, and then how much different you have to hold depends on the size of the target and all that stuff too. But it allows me to simplify the holds that I need to remember in order to get a hit on target. That's the advantage, all right? It's for the most part, it fits into a standard platform, all right? The gun that I would shoot at a match, it's the same gun. It just has a different bolt face in it and a different barrel. Same lower that I use. This particular one, this is American Defense. If you get one from American Defense, they use a BSF barrel, BSF carbon wrapped barrel. But it's the same rifle. To me, it shoots the same. So like actually shooting stuff, it feels like a 5.56 gun. Functions the same as a 5.56 gun. The magazines all interface with the same equipment that I would use for a 5.56 gun. It's like a 5.56 gun in every way. It just transfers more energy and it flies flatter and straighter, which, if there's a lot of long range, pretty significant advantage. The disadvantage really is magazine size. You're really limited to the biggest magazine you can get is a 30 rounder. All right. So at these same matches, you might encounter a jungle run rifle stage. All right. Or some stage that is going to require more than 30 rounds to shoot, especially if there's some slop in there. So for the most part, reloads have been negated in the sport of 3-gun because we can, in most divisions, use larger magazines. We can use D60s, we can use big sticks, we can use cinch mags. All right, so the limitation on using something like this is you have 30 round mags. All right, some places that can be a disadvantage. Well, it doesn't cost that much. We're playing in a sport where not much hurts. All right, so you're up against if you choose to shoot a 6 arc at a match like this, because the way the rules of most matches work you have to shoot that rifle for the whole match. So you can't just wheel in your long range gun on the long range stages and then whip out your SBR in the jungle runs. There are some matches like that. Most of the matches that we're talking about in this context don't allow that. The one you step off with on stage 1 is the one you got to shoot the whole match with. So that is the choice. Some matches like this one is able to shoot around some of that because some of those stages allow options, so you can pistol option around some of that stuff. But there is some places where you would want to shoot a rifle and you would be at a disadvantage against somebody who had more ammunition than you. So that's the primary disadvantage. But what most people say is, wow, that's expensive. Now hang on here, all right? So in life, it usually pays to do the math, all right? And I did, all right? Now, prices themselves are subject to change. Everyone's ammunition situation is different, and ammo prices are constantly, it's a commodities market, all right? So the prices are constantly changing. What doesn't change, in my experience in the sport and in the industry, is proportions, all right? 45 ammo has always cost a little bit more than 9mm, and as prices go up, they tend to go up and down together, all right? 308 and 556, all right? They kind of go, I mean, a little bit of variation, yes. For the most part, conceptually, relative to each other, prices go up and down relatively the same. So for the price conversation, I mean, you know, I'm in the industry, you hand load, well, I can get a... Everyone can hedge and buy smart, and you would be smart to do so. But for the sake of conversation, I went out to common retailers where anyone could buy ammunition, all right? I don't, they don't endorse me, so you can figure out who they are. But Google, shooting supplies. I looked at those places, all right? And I looked at a few of them. The price of this ammunition, factory Hornady, this particular load is the Precision Hunter 103, all right? Factory Hornady 6-arc costs the same with statistical significance, all right? It costs relatively the same as 77 or 69 grain 5.56 ammo that I would shoot at a match like this, all right? So long range ammo for long range ammo, this costs the same. I'll let that sink in for a second. So if you're playing the game to win, and this costs the same as 77 grain ammo, we've already shrunk the gap. All right. Now, a lot of people who are playing the game to do their best, if it's a stage where you're going to need the long range ammo, they're going to shoot the long range ammo for the whole stage. You can, of course, be more thrifty about this, but then you're not playing the game to win, all right? If you're playing the game to win, I'm telling you, these people are my friends. That's what people are doing, all right? So for the most part, on a stage like that, even if they throw some paper in there, unless it's something like you can put 10 on the top, hose the paper targets, and then shoot long range, for the most part, when it's time to shoot the 77s, dudes are shooting the 77s. So that shrinks the gap a little bit. But Adam, what about all those stages where I can shoot the Hoser 55 grain ammo? That's a good question. All right, so at that same retailer, I went and priced out the comparable 55 grain ammo that I would use at a match. Now, at a match, I wouldn't probably use the cheapest garbage ammo I could find. I would use ammo that I know to be reasonably consistent, shoot reasonably well in my gun. That's not always the cheapest. It's not always the cheapest. It is always more economical than long-range match ammo. If I figure the cost of that ammo, without talking specific prices, if I figure the cost of that ammo and the difference in cost between the 77 grain ammo that I would shoot and the 55 grain ammo that I would shoot, and the stages I would have shot it on, and the amount that I would have consumed, the amount of savings that you're talking about at a major match, a major 2 or 3 day event where the round count for a rifle is somewhere between 150, 200 rounds probably, in being able to shoot a ball round out of your 55 or out of your 5.56 gun, you are saving about $25. $25. Most people at a trip like this, you took the time off work, you probably traveled here, you're probably staying at a hotel, all that stuff. Even if you're not doing all that stuff, all right, just if you're participating in events like this, you can save $25 in where you choose to eat in the evening. All right, it's 25 bucks. Now, if you were to go around to all the competitors here, I think at any skill level, and you were to say, hey, you could have a decisive advantage on long range shooting to get a better score for $25. Are you interested? I think the answer would be unequivocally yes. For $25, you could shoot 6 arc at a match like this and pretty much have all the advantages, not really a whole lot of disadvantage. The only disadvantage is that you have to use only 30 round mags. I think in that context, a lot of people would say, I would take that deal. All right. And when I'm more interested in editing videos, I would just snap in Brad Pitt here. Would you take that deal? I'd take that deal. Damn good deal. Damn good deal. 6 arc for 3 gun. Now, if the sport continues to stay in this format, I think you're going to see more stuff like this. Makes some sense to do this. Now, am I talking about your first 3 gun rifle should be a 6 arc? No, you're probably not coming out here for your first match. So should your first 3 gun rifle be a 6 arc? No. Should your primary rifle be a 6 arc? No. If a significant part of participating in the sport is wanting to participate in sports in places like this, I don't know many people here who have just one rifle. So if you're into it and you're sourcing some stuff, maybe a 6 arc. That's all I have to say about that.